Jeffrey is a psychic, isn't he? Phone started ringing in the studio, and I said, I wonder who that is. And Jeffrey said who he thought it was. And all of a sudden, up on the caller ID, I'm like, that's amazing. How does he do that? We've been meeting different principals and administrators from our schools all across the district over the last few weeks. Zia today. And joining us is the principal, Darian Jaramillo.
Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And assistant principal, Scott Neel. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
It's a little chilly out there. Have you guys got the heaters going, the furnaces going? Have we burned off all the dirt?
Not yet. I think we're still kind of waiting for the water to subside on the playground.
Oh my gosh,
But,
yeah.
It'll be warm on Saturday, so we're still lucky that the air conditioners are still on.
There you go. That's right. They still have to work. So, Darian, let's start with you. How long have you been at Zia School as principal?
So this is about a year and a half. So we moved here in June. I started July 1st of last year, and it's been a lot of fun. It's just been a great experience being there.
All right. And if you recognize Darian's voice, you were one of our fans of the week this week. You and your husband moved here, and I think your husband is an assistant coach on the football team.
Yes, sir.
Does he coach anything else, or just...
He does baseball.
Baseball,
also, yes,
okay.
in the spring. So
That's pretty cool. But you're not from here originally. You're a transplant.
we are. Yes, we are from Alamogordo. And
Okay.
so via Las Lunas, via then to Artesia.
That's
so,
good.
Yeah, it's you hear all about Artesia, all over the state. And growing up, being in athletics, and you just always looked up to Artesia, and we're so grateful to be here. It's lived up and more than what we ever imagined.
Good. Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Artesia?
Yes, sir. I'm from Artesia, and I've been at ZF probably for about 8 years, and this is the beginning of my 4th year as the assistant principal.
Okay. And did you go to school here, graduate here?
Yes, sir. I went to school here. I graduated in '99, and I played basketball in high school, and then I coached at the junior high and taught math there, and then for about 8 years, and then I moved over to Zia and coached football and basketball and track.
And where did you go to college, get your degree?
I started off at New Mexico State, and then I ended up at Eastern in Portales and finished up there, and then I got my master's through New Mexico State.
There's a lot of teachers that are in Artesia that have gotten their master's degree from Eastern. How about you, Darian? Are you?
So I'm an Aggie.
An Aggie,
Aggie, a New Mexico State Aggie. Family, long line of family that graduated from NMSU.
Yeah.
And go Aggies, they beat the Lobos this last weekend.
Well, is that hard to do? I don't know.
Good point.
It's kind of a sad thing, the state of college football in New Mexico. It's just get so disappointing. There's so many good fans,
Right.
and there's so much expectation and hope that there's a good result, but it just doesn't seem to turn out that way.
Right.
Wow.
And then I got my master's from Grand Canyon University
Grand
out
Canyon.
of Phoenix.
Phoenix, okay. Well, there's a football state there. They've got a lot of excitement over there. So, well, let's talk about what's happening at Zia. How are your students? Your student numbers so far this year? Looking good?
Very good. Yes, we have about 550 students, give or take. We have kids enrolling every week, which is a good thing. And no, they're working hard and getting back to normal. And I think things are going well.
That's
Seems
good.
like, yeah.
That's great. And I know one of the things you wanted to talk about was how you're building the Bulldog tradition with the students at Zia. So you guys want to talk a little bit about some of the programs, some of the things you're doing to encourage and expose these kids to this Bulldog attitude?
Yeah. So that's just the motto of Zia, is building the Bulldog tradition. And, we have different days each week that we dress up and try to make sure that we wear our orange on Friday and have Spirit Day. And we have a really great athletic and activity programs. Our athletics, the students, boys participate in football, basketball, and track, and girls, volleyball, basketball, and track. And We have a great band program and a choir program. We had kids, as a matter of fact, last night we had our fall choir concert, and they sounded amazing. And it's just, as far as even just like football, you know, Jeremy or Coach Maupin, we had our final game at the bowl, and he had all the varsity players there, and just getting our kids excited to get to that point that they're, when they get to the high school and want to be Bulldogs. And it's just, I think that's the main thing, is we just want to get the excitement in them. And
Sure.
And yeah.
So what, in your role as assistant principal, Scott, what are some of the things you do along those lines to help with this? We were talking before the show about the attitude adjustment, if you will, just making sure we have a positive attitude to start the day.
Well, especially like coming off the COVID, we've had to really, have kids come in who are having issues and talk to them and get the parents involved and just try to show them the things that they can participate in the future. And that's kind of like why we have the beginning of the Bulldog tradition. And, when they're in 6th grade, they're in PE classes, and then once they get to 7th grade and they can participate in athletics, then we've seen a big difference, like in kids that struggled last year and now they're in athletics and they're starting to make some positive gains and doing better in the classroom. And like last week, like we had our reward day where we had kids who didn't have any Fs and who didn't have any discipline, that they got to participate in a reward day where our PTO brings in snacks and has a concession stand, and then they get to participate in games and activities for kind of the half of the end of the day. And so that's been a real positive thing. And then we had, like, our numbers increased, like in our highest honors and honor roll and perfect attendance from last year. We saw big gains in that from last year to this year. So lots of positive things happening.
That's pretty exciting, because you got to be there first of all to even
Right.
have an
Yes, sir.
opportunity,
Right.
and then you have to have a good attitude, and then you have to eat lunch.
Yep.
Have to be, or breakfast, or be well fed. How's the cafeteria there at Zia?
It's great. Miss Patty and her staff, we have 5 ladies that work in the cafeteria, and we have 2 lines because we have so many kids, and the meals are delicious, and some days even Miss Patty makes some things in the back for staff.
Yeah,
Those are always good days too.
she definitely takes care of us.
She does.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do you have any? Now you mentioned the Zia fall concert, which was last night at First Baptist Church, which
Yes.
was streamed, by the way. So if anybody wants to go back and watch it, it's on
great.
the KSVP website.
good.
Nice.
It was one of the 7 events we were streaming last night up and down the valley, so it was kind of exciting. But do you have some other special events or activities coming up you want to share with folks? Any field trips?
No field trips. We'll have our Christmas concerts coming up, and girls basketball is starting. Boys go on off season, but not. We kind of had a busy first 9
Yeah.
weeks. We had reward day, we had parent teacher conferences, the final fall sports, and the choir concert last night. And so it's kind of, right now we're just kind of taking a break, and then once we get to the end of the semester, it'll start to get going again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and you mentioned the rewards program that you had. Overall, as far as getting good grades, does it look like now that we're a year or so past the laptop year, does it look like we're starting to catch up? The kids are starting to catch up and get on track with where they should be at their education level?
Yeah, it's getting better. It's not quite where we want it. This year we implemented several math programs to help, because last year we heard a lot from parents that my kid's struggling in math, I mean, we just heard that all the time. And our English scores, like on our assessments, weren't too bad, but our math they were still low, and it's all over the country, you know. And so we implemented it's a Bulldog time, and that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so on Thursdays, school-wide, everybody goes onto an IXL math program, and that just works on their foundational skills, and it builds based on their skill. So if they're struggling, it'll start them a little bit lower, but if they're excelling, it'll excel them. And then we also put in a math lab class or students that need a little bit extra help. They have their regular math class, and then they go into this other class, and they have small group and one-on-one help from a math teacher. And then the state started, it's called Saga Math, and so Artesia, the park and Zia have implemented that math program, and so again, it's a special curriculum, and it's a small group of kids that are in that class too that are just getting extra help. We have after-school tutoring Monday through Thursday for kids to get help there. So, it'll take time to see the gains, but I think it's going to make a difference.
Good, and I'm sure you appreciate parental involvement.
That is for sure. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited. On Friday, last Friday, we had parent-teacher conferences. I mean, we had so much participation on Friday. We couldn't believe it. I mean,
Right.
I would look up, and parents are just coming in. And so I am so grateful that the parents are wanting to be a part of it. And we have great parents, and they're very supportive. And it's been good. Mm-hmm.
Anything else we need to cover or mention today? Scott, you have anything on your list?
Nah, man, things are going good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Darian, anything else we need to mention or cover today?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for having us
Yeah, we
and
appreciate
letting
it.
us get to talk about our class. I have a Bulldog Pride shirt that I'm going to share with you today.
Wow.
And so here is a shirt for you.
Okay.
And you can wear your Zia gear with pride.
Well, I will. Thank you so much. That's established 1949. That's not me. That's the school.
Right.
But that is
Yeah.
great. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Darian Jaramillo and Scott Neel from Zia. Good luck.
Thank you.
And
All right, thank you.
And I keep hearing it's great to be a Bulldog.
That's right.
It is.
Thanks